everyone, and welcome to the Materials Partnership Tech Talk. Here, we'll be discussing how the products, services, and technology we are building supports our mission of industry collaboration. Collaboration is a cornerstone of our ethos as a company. The first part of this Tech Talk will focus on just that, how we work with materials partners and the fruits of those collaborations. By partnering with key members of the materials value chain is critical and central to Fortify's growth strategy. By opening up our unique processing and printing capabilities to our partners, it is our belief that together we'll be able to accelerate the pace of development, bringing unique materials to high-value markets faster than ever before. Our partnerships focus highly on ways we can leverage the power of fibers and functional additives to improve the material properties of a given resin. Our central thesis is that by combining unique material properties with the scalability of DLP 3D printing, will lead to growth in the production of 3D printed parts. The logos on the right of the slide showcase just a few of the material partnerships that we've fostered with the collaborations over the past 5 years. Across the various application spaces that Fortify does business in, we're able to point to a materials partnership that has provided unmet value. Through these collaborations, we've leveraged the use of many classes of functional additives, such as ceramics and metals, to augment the material properties of various resins we've worked with. For example, materials such as ceramic fiber allow us to improve the thermal resistance and wear properties of our tooling material to better serve the injection mold tooling market. We've also worked with other types of additives to improve thermal conductivity and even the electromagnetic properties of a resin. We typically engage with materials partners in 3 basic modes. In the first mode, we work together to formulate and develop a new resin from scratch. While this takes significant bandwidth on both sides, the benefit of creating something from nothing to go from 0 to 1 are immense. The second mode of operation involves onboarding already formulated materials that are outside the normal processing window of other DLP printers. Many times, our partners have to shelf promising formulations because it is either too viscous or the particles sediment out too quickly. Lastly, we've also taken off-the-shelf resin systems and fortified them with fibers and fillers ourselves. All of this is enabled by 2 processes that we're bringing to market. The first process is CKM, or continuous kinetic mixing. This process allows us to heat, mix, and homogenize fiber-rich resin formulations throughout the course of a print. The second process that we've invented is Fluxprint. Fluxprint is a process that allows us to manipulate fibers within a resin using electromagnetics. Using this process, we can enhance mechanics, enable higher thermal conductivity, and improve wear properties of a material. Fortify brings to the table years of fiber-filled resin formulation expertise. Not only do we have access to the unique and game-changing hardware processing capabilities like Fluxprint and CKM, we also have a team of material scientists, formulation chemists, and polymer physicists, each bringing a unique perspective to composite resin formulation. We know how to engineer the surface of a particle to not only make it magnetically susceptible, but to also allow it to suspend more readily in a resin, as well as to participate in the photochemical reactions taking place. Through years of experimentation, we are also leading experts in composite resin photochemistry with deep knowledge in the material modifications that are needed in order for a filled system to cure effectively. One example of our collaborative efforts is our deep-rooted partnership with Henkel to create fiber-reinforced injection mold tools. Molecule, an innovative resin formulation company that was soon acquired by Henkel, and Fortify saw a gap in the performance of standard non-metal 3D printed tools. Traditionally, 3D printed tools would break prematurely due to poor heat tolerance and subpar mechanics. Together, Henkel and Fortify brought to market the first ceramic fiber filled tooling material that outcompetes the incumbents in the space. Now I want to switch gears a little bit, talk about our efforts in enabling our partners, giving them the autonomy to develop new materials with limited intervention by Fortify. This is a new product that we're introducing called Flux Developer. At its core, Flux Developer is a cloud-native platform that allows for the creation of new composite materials that harness the power of CKM and Fluxprint. By giving this power to the market, we hope to usher in a new generation of composite photopolymers, all enabled by our unique processing capabilities. Through our previous experiences collaborating with the market, we found that product development in the material space is never linear. In fact, it is quite the contrary. At each step of the process, our internal materials process and applications teams needed to feed back valuable information while we onboard these new materials onto our platform. This feedback loop is often slow, slowing down the pace of innovation and thus the pace that new materials can be introduced to the market. We saw this as an opportunity to productize the work that our internal teams are doing and granting these abilities to our partners and our customers. This allows for closed-loop development by our materials partners, drastically shortening their design cycles, accelerating time to market. So, what is Flux Developer, you may be asking? Flux Developer consists of three main components. First is our Flux series of 3D printers. Partners with Flux Developer will have deep access to the various processing parameters and capabilities that is offered by our platform that the general user does not. Secondly, we are introducing a materials configuration portal. This portal allows for the creation of new materials profiles that can easily be shared across your organization. And lastly, we have Compass, our build preparation software. Here's a high-level view of the features we're introducing to each of these components. The materials configuration portal is a central piece of the technology that powers Flux Developer. Through this portal, users can create new material profiles and experiments. Users, for the first time, will not only have access to common DLP variables such as exposure, but also the power to harness CKM and the processing variables that are related to the system. The material profiles are also able to be shared across the organization so that users can work collaboratively with their colleagues. FluxHost, the software that runs on the printer itself, is also augmented to reflect new developer features. Materials configurations can be loaded wirelessly from the portal, automatically populating profiles that have been sent down to the printer. We also offer a host of onboarding tools that can be accessed through the user interface to make onboarding new materials faster and easier. Users can also view real-time print analytics, such as the camera, to monitor vital signs of the print. At a high level, the workflow we're building is quite simple. We're developing a suite of tools and automated experiments that we're terming onboarding tools that our users can perform to get a better understanding of the new materials they're trying to onboard onto our platform. These tests include depth of cure analyses, sedimentation analyses, and others that will act as inputs to new material profiles. These experiments were conceived by our internal teams who developed them over the past few years to more efficiently onboard new materials onto our printers. Once these experiments are performed, the outputs are then used as inputs to the creation of new material profiles in the materials configuration portal. These profiles are then wirelessly transmitted to the printer, which then performs the print functions. As you can see, Fortify is committed to fostering relationships and collaborations across industry. We are firm believers that innovation can be accelerated through the power of working together, each party bringing their own unique expertise and experiences. If you have any questions or are interested in any materials partnerships, please feel free to drop me a line at the email address provided. Thank you so much for your time.